developers have released their October developer feedback, which includes massive changes to area of effect damage from garrisons. It talks about KVK rewards and more. It is critical for every player to understand what is in here and what the future of the game will hold for us. So we're going to break this down with an unfiltered opinion on what we think of these changes. And yeah, we've got a lot to say about what's coming for Rise of Kingdoms. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming. Today, we're breaking down the official developer feedback for October of 2020 and the state of the game, the future of the game as the developers see it. If you like Rise of Kingdoms guides that help you get value and smash your enemies, then consider smashing that subscribe button for videos that help break down the latest and greatest news the second that it happens for Rise of Kingdoms. Now, we are a sponsored content creator, but I'm going to be giving pretty unfiltered opinions here on what's contained within this update. Let's start from the very top. My first piece of feedback is, please put this in landscape mode. Please allow me to do this in landscape mode. Anyways, we're bringing new exciting changes for all governors, and that has always been the Rise of Kingdoms team's goal. At the same time, we listen to the valuable advice of governors and all the communities to ensure that these changes lead to a better experience. That's great. In this face-to-face with the developers, we wish to discuss some of the issues that have been a hot topic in the communities recently, what we plan to do about them. Okay, great. So the rewards for the Lost Kingdom have been the same city themes and equipment blueprints for 3 seasons in a row. What is the point in playing KVK events? Let me tell you something. KVK Season 3, we got a lucky coin. KVK 4 rolls around, literally 2 days before KVK opened. My dad dies. I join KVK and I do a live stream about it, and I shouldn't have done that. It was a huge mistake. I thought I wanted like normalcy, but I was a little bit of a wreck. And I get in there, and it's the same freaking reward. And I was like, this is just a bug. They're going to change it, right? This is just a bug. They must know that the whole point of a collection game is to collect new stuff, right? They have to know that that's the whole point. And I get this is a war game, but it's also very much a collection game. So anyways, it turns out it's not a bug. And at the time I thought, well, okay, maybe this is the case because unlike when you got commanders in KVK Season 1 and 2, there's no mechanism like Card King to catch up players who didn't win KVK with those rewards they would have missed. Which, like, yes, there should be a catch-up mechanism. I think that's critically important. So maybe they gave us another season of the same rewards so that you could get the lucky coin if you missed it the first time. I was okay with that idea. But then when it rolled around the 3rd season, I was like, I went back there and I said, this is a bug, right? And they were like, no, it's not a bug. And I was like, okay. So I thought after the 2nd time we saw Lucky Coin, people had made it really clear that that was like not something they were interested. I thought the 3rd time it was even more clear. So it's good that like there's an understanding that like this is a collection game in which we want new stuff, or at least the questions as let's see what they say. A new game mode of Lost Kingdom has been very important to our development team's future plans. Lately, we've been getting a lot of feedback and complaining about the gameplay and how the rewards are too repetitive, which they are. We're bringing reworked Lost Kingdom gameplay online soon for some kingdoms. That is Heroic Anthem. We're covering that on this channel, so subscribe if you want to see that, or check out my Heroic Anthem KVK playlist for all of the things, including the rewards from that KVK. We're reworking the Lost Kingdom. At the same time, we will continue exploring how the event can be further adjusted to give experienced governors more advantage and make the gameplay more interesting, thus making the event more fun and engaging experience. So I think what they're saying there is it's more interesting based on the skill system. And you can, if you haven't seen my video from today, you can take 2 skills from other commanders and you can put them onto a commander so they have an upwards of 6 skills. It actually looks really fun. Like that piece of the KVK I really like. I'm glad that they've figured out that like we need to do something to eliminate the repetitiveness. I think that the changing up of what skills become available to deploy to your commanders in a KVK is going to be really cool. All of that's great. I'm glad that they've figured out now, though, that like there is some serious repetitiveness to a reward that, A, you don't even actually get. You get a pattern. You get the opportunity to craft it. I mean, like, what? Do like 70 or 80 or 90% of people who have won that KVK never craft the reward? Like, and then you gave it to us 3 times? I love you, but please, please give me something new, right? So I think that's what they're trying to do with this new KVK. Let's go to the next question. My troops stood near the city and didn't join the attack. But when garrison commanders used their AoE skills, my troops got killed. Why? Okay, so the way that this works today is that regardless of whether or not your march is attacking the garrison, you will get hit by the area of effect damage of that garrison if someone from your alliance is attacking the garrison. The commander does AoE damage. You're in the area of effect damage range. Like, that's what happens. And that actually is being exploited today. People send one single troop, into that area of effect damage, and any commander that has their AoE damage reduced by virtue of the fact that they're hitting multiple targets, like Esong and many other commanders do, they're actually kind of exploiting the fact that there is AoE that hits those marches in the open field to make it so that less troops from the rally end up dying. It's a very smart sort of hack, but it also, I think, is not a good thing for the health of the game. The other thing that I'll point out is that what you should be doing in a flag is potentially have multiple garrison captains in there so that you can switch to AoE damage and punish folks if they start surrounding your flags in the open field. And for this reason, the whole way that KVK combat works revolves around this one mechanic. So the answer to this question is actually super important for how KVK is going to play in the future. When commanders leading the garrison of a city or stronghold use their AoE, the skills will also damage those nearby enemies who are not attacking the city or stronghold. We found that not a few new players had no idea of this mechanism and got their troops killed. It's true. New players get completely obliterated by this. So we're planning to make the following adjustment. Troops that are not attacking the city or stronghold will not receive damage from AoE skills of garrison commanders. Wow. So this is a massive nerf to garrison commanders that have area of effect damage. But at the same time, I actually like this change a lot. And I like this change a lot because it's never a good thing for the game if new players are getting wrecked, like obliterated, in a way that's like, F it, I'm going to quit, right? Like, that's just dumb. That's dumb for everybody. Nobody wants that. So I think this is a good change. The other reason I think it's good is for that exploit I was describing earlier that people are doing like right now, where they run a bunch of one-troop marches around the flag, but it makes it so that like the rally takes way less damage. So that addresses that completely, which I think is a good thing. But this leaves me to question, like, what will the value of garrison commanders that do area of effect damage be? I think the answer there is that your area of effect garrison commanders will be really good in Ark of Osiris, where they have elevated value, especially at the upper end of things where there's lots of swarming. I actually think this is a very good change. I would not have expected them to make this change, but I think it's the right change to be making. So I like this one a whole heck of a lot. So on to the next point. Why is Golden Kingdom so difficult? Golden Kingdom is not easy. Golden Kingdom is not easy, and I think it's imbalanced for maybe a couple reasons. The first is that one or two healing items are way more good than they should be. You get the healing item, you win. I feel like all the items should be a little bit more balanced. So the answer here that they gave is that many governors have complained that the Golden Kingdom event is too hard. So we've already started to work on adjustments for every difficulty level that will allow for a more suitable challenge for governors of every power level. You should see these adjustments very soon. So I think that's great. I think it's appropriate. I think that this event depends a lot on your commander strength. I know they made a change recently in that regard where you used to get commanders that had your skill levels on your commander. So like Ramses would show up in the commander recruitment center, but Ramses would not even be available in your kingdom, maybe 1000. Like, what was the point of that, right? So now they show up as like 5533. So it's always good to get a legendary, but I don't know. Maybe my note to them would be that nobody uses Saladin with Lohar, so please give us 2 cavalry commanders that are legit in that pair, please. I guess maybe the Lohar, if his heal counts, like, is worth something, but yeah, no, not really. Not really. So I'm glad to see that they're adjusting the difficulty of that. I still want it to be a challenging event. I just would like the items to be more balanced. And that would lead to it, I think, being an easier event without having to massively change the balance. Also, I think, like, giving you some actual legit commander pairs would be kind of cool, too. Okay. And not to say that there aren't some legit commander pairs in there. It's just, when I see a Saladin Lohar, I'm like, who thought that was... Like, why is that in there? Why? Lohar, why? Okay. So, since losing to the second and third Ian's Balance bosses results in having to restart from the beginning, should they really be so difficult? I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say those bosses are not difficult. And when I do pickup groups, players just have no clue what they're doing. And I get that at the earlier tiers of gameplay, maybe there is imbalance, but like at the mid, like 40 plus million power range, like it's pretty balanced in my opinion. It's like really it's pretty balanced. So I think a lot of this is like, if you have pickup grouped at all, a lot of players do not know what they're doing, which is fine. But like, there's certainly, I think, a heavy element of players needing to learn how to do these events. But maybe there is an imbalance in the early part. I would accept that. So what do they say? We have seen how much time governors are investing in the Ian's Balance adventure. We set it up so that governors would have to start from the beginning after losing to a boss in order to deliver a feeling of a complete adventure. At the same time, we see how this is proven inconvenient. We're currently looking at the possibility of saving progress after a boss fight, but we also see a large number of potential issues this could cause, so we're being very cautious. Yeah, I would not change that. I would not change that. This is an event you could speed run in like 15 minutes. If you can beat the bosses, you can do this event in less than 15 minutes. Time is not the issue. Do the developers know? Do the developers know that you can like skip all of the mobs, go straight to the resurrection point next to the boss, wipe the party, then walk right out and tackle the boss? Like it's very fast. It's very easy to do this event. They should not make changes to that. If they think that there's an imbalance in the early portion of it, they should change that. But like, I really do feel there's a lot players can do to level up the way that they play this event, which is why I've made a bunch of guides about it. I'll have a card up in the top or a link in the description. Okay, could you please make it possible to disable the buffs and debuffs of city themes in the game settings so that I can use them purely for decoration? I actually think that's a cool idea. Cosmetic, you know, cosmetic. I like the idea of cosmetics as cosmetics, and you know, we want the buffs too. But like, what if I, you know, have unlocked a city skin that I think looks cool? Like, I think the Halloween skins look freaking sick. I would always use the Halloween skins, like no question. It's all Halloween skin all the way, all the time. But the buffs on them are not my best buffs, so I don't use them, right? So I like this question a lot. I mean, this is like the least important thing I can think of as a change, but like, okay, let's talk cosmetics for a second here. They say we really want governors to feel free to use their favorite city themes whenever they want, but certain city themes have been designed to come with debuffs, making governors feel they can't use those themes that they own. This is true. You get a buff, you get a debuff on some of them, and like, that's by design. I think that's all good, but like, I just want to look cool, right? Okay, so what do they say? We're working on a solution where governors can choose whether or not to allow their city theme to have any actual impact on gameplay. I hope they execute on that a little bit differently than the way this was worded. What I would like them to do is to have a separate selection for what buff would you like, or buff debuff combo, right? What buff debuff combo do you want based on the exact same combinations we already have available that you've unlocked today, right? And separate from that is, and what do you want it to look like? So when you get a new city skin, you get the cosmetic piece and you get the stat piece, right? And there's two different levers that you can work. That will be cool. But being like, why, yes, I'm going to, you know, forfeit my, you know, 5% AP recovery or 15% resource recovery from like one of these premium skins in order to have my city look like something else. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. So hopefully they separate those two ideas out. At the same time, oh, okay, there's more. Okay, so they're offering some feedback here without a question. Let's see what they say. We feel that the current way of acquiring certain equipment-related items is still too limited. I couldn't possibly agree with you more. Okay, I'll talk about that in a second. Making it harder for governors to fully utilize the equipment system. Yeah, I mean, like, it's like I just said. Like, we got 3 lucky coins in our kingdoms from, like, 3 KVK wins/ties in a row, and I made 1. And I bet most free-to-play players in our kingdom that got it made 0, right? Like, obviously that is a huge problem when the most premium thing in the game is unachievable or incorrect for most players to use, right? Like, the whole point was to get a reward that feels rewarding. So, okay, so with this in mind, we're making adjustments to the Lost Kingdom rewards, thank goodness. Preserving overall value of rewards by adding more equipment-related items and decreasing the amount of other rewards, especially speed-up items. That's fine. That's fine. That's good. Okay, I'll go from fine to good. That's from good to great. Great. You have my attention. We hope this will make Governor's first and second KVK experiences more rewarding. Oh, wow. They're doing this for the first and second KVKs. Oh, dang. You see, that's funny because those governors actually need the speed ups. Those governors really needed the speed ups. And the universal heads. But okay. We hope this makes Governor's first and second KVK experiences more rewarding, giving them powerful equipment and making them easier for them to explore, benefit from, and most importantly, enjoy the equipment system as a whole. Yeah, I mean, my biggest gripe with the equipment system as it is today is that, you know, look, I get that this needs to be a long time strive and grind, but when you get a premium reward from a KVK, I think it needs to be within reach, like in a reasonable time frame for a free-to-play player, right? Because today, the reward you get in the new versions of KVK is either a weapon pattern or a helmet pattern, and that pattern is really good, but it's like, what, like 120 or 150 legendary materials? Like, it's some outrageous amount of legendary materials. So a free-to-play player that actually is successful in that KVK is going to look at what kind of time frame to make that. Like a year? Is that reasonable? Like, you have 4 KVKs for your kingdom in a year. Is that a reasonable amount of time to actually unlock the item free to play? I would like to see these things become more accessible to more people, right? Or simply to have a choice where it's like, actually, this KVK, I'm not going to pick the pattern. I'm going to pick like 40 legendary material pieces. See what I mean? Right? Like, give me, and maybe 40 is like way too many, right? But like, if I'm not going to be able to use the pattern anyways, so if that piece of the puzzle is not changeable, then give me the option to turn in my season conquest coins, which is the new KVK currency, for some more materials. My opinion. Like I said, I'm kind of unfiltered opinions here. Additionally, we're working on pricing adjustments to certain items in the VIP shop. That's a nice, that's very nice. The VIP shop was a key feature and system in the early days of Rock. Yes, it was. There really were not ways to spend your gems. VIP shop was like the jam. But as the game has grown and developed, the average VIP level of players has gone up. Yes, it has. A number of items in the shop are not valuable to governors as they once were. That is 3,000% true. But their prices do not reflect this change. We're always very cautious when making in-game price adjustments. So while we plan to lower the price of certain items in the VIP shop, we are still going to do a lot of data testing first. That's great news. That's great news. Good insight. I love this change. Even if it's small, they're thinking about the right thing here with the VIP shop. Where would I weigh in the VIP shop compared to KVK? I mean, like, KVK is up here. It's off the frame of my camera. It's 11 out of 10 important to get right. And I would say VIP shop is like 3. And I would say area of effect damage from flags, which we were reviewing earlier, is like 5 or 6 in terms of importance, my opinion. Okay, so the above is what the face-to-face with the developers contains. If you have any suggestions, consider other feedback, please feel free to contact us in our official communities. We'll respond as soon as possible. Okay, so overall, I think they're thinking about a lot of the right things. I think they are very much thinking about a lot of the right things here. Actually, I'm very happy to see that, like, more than one of the things they are thinking about, right? Like, they're all related to KVK, which is good because KVK is 11 out of 10. Like, you must get that right. The first question was about KVK. The second question is really a KVK related question. And like, seriously, flag combat is going to completely change now. Like, today, you can't fight around a flag and stop people from reinforcing it. But this is going to completely 100% change open field combat and flag rallies and Rise of Kingdoms in a way that I think is really refreshing and actually probably a very good thing for the game. And what's the next one? Golden Kingdom, not KVK. Ian's Ballads, not KVK. City Themes, not KVK. Okay, and then they volunteered something at the end. So 3 of the things in here, in my opinion, are KVK related. And that is exactly where their attention should be. All in all, I think this is really great. I think they're acknowledging some of the biggest problems and are attempting to fix them. I think that the addition of a shop in KVK, which, like, let me pull that up for you now. All right, so here's that shop we were talking about. I suggested in several of my videos that a shop was the right solution for KVK rewards, so you can pick and choose the thing you want, so you're not stuck in this weird, like, migration back for a season of KVK. I think they've solved that problem well and elegantly, but what I'm suggesting here is that, like, look, you're going to get this premium currency to get an item here, the Hammer of Sun and Moon, best weapon in the game, right? There's three, like, based on the type of troop you have, best weapon in the game, best helmet in the game, but that's pretty much all you can get. And you could use your conquest currency for this Topkapi Palace, but this thing is like, you would not want to do that. That is not value. I like value. That is not value. So if we look at just how many materials it is to make one of these things, I mean, you tell me how long it would take you. You tell me how long it would take you to forge, to forge one of these weapons right over here. 150 legendary materials. How long is that going to take you? It's going to take a while, right? How about one of these KVK helmets? 90 legendary materials. That's a long time. That's actually hilariously more in reach than the Lucky Coin, which, by the way, Lucky Coin has been made less relevant by virtue of new equipment. And I get that, like, new equipment should always come into the game here, but the Lucky Coin was 120 materials, right? Like, these are 120 materials. A lot of cool stuff you can get from this KVK, right? So I love the items. I love the things that are here. Because I'm so passionate for the game, expressing in no uncertain terms, that I just want to make sure that all players feel that these rewards are within reach and rewarding, so that KVK winning feels great and that participation in the KVK feels great. That's what I'm trying to get at here, all right? So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider subscribing. And we're covering the new Heroic Anthem format we've been doing daily videos. In fact, sometimes a video and a live stream every day. So consider that subscription so you don't miss a thing. Throw a like on the video if our bringing you this information was valuable, helpful. I'd like to think it was. And if there's something you'd like to see in a future video, leave it down below in a comment along with your thoughts on the information they shared here. Overall, I think they're thinking about the right things. These are important to be thinking about. Players have been giving a lot of feedback about KVK rewards because getting KVK right, this is the end game. This is the thing that matters. Until next time, you have fun smashing the kingdom.